everybody, and welcome to yet another episode of Beyond The Lectern. Now, it has been quite a while since we had the previous episode. I think it was February probably. I'm Mayuri, member of Gurukul Toastmasters Club. Notice the slight pause. During the last episode that we had, I welcomed you all from Gurukul.education Toastmasters Club. Since the last few months, we have a change in name as well. So we are now Gurukul Toastmasters Club, and I have an immense privilege, honor, delight, pleasure to welcome someone whom I have not known myself yet. So along with you all, dear viewers and audience, we are going to learn who our newest member is who's sitting to my left. I have no clue, but along with you, we are going to get to know this person. There's a lot that I have heard about him, but now let's hear it straight from the horse's mouth. Welcome, Toastmaster Harsh. A pleasure to meet you here, and welcome to another episode of Beyond the Lectern. So like I said, Harsh, there was a time when you became a member of Toastmasters and I was not there. So give me in a very short span, who are you?
Okay. All right. So as you said, you haven't met me. I think that on a philosophical level, that holds true for me. Even I haven't met for myself, and I've been a seeker. So, um, if I have to summarize who I am a curiously passionate finance guy.
Okay.
Yep, and that's what I do with Gurukul Education, or Prepper Gurukul as they have rebranded themselves. I teach finance yet, varied subjects, more in the context of Toastmasters Club. I've just joined in July, and missing you, heard a lot about you, because we all are Toastmasters, but you stand out, distinguished Toastmaster Mayuri.
This Beyond the Lectern, mind you, is about you, Harsh. It's not about us. Let's go back. So you come from the field of finance and you're working with Prepper Gurukul over here.
Okay.
So your faculty, you've been teaching?
Yeah, I've been teaching.
So tell us a little bit about your educational qualifications and what did you need to be a part of Prepper Gurukul?
Great. So that began back in 2017. It's not a very short journey.
True.
Yeah, and I was kind of lost. And then it was Anup sir and Chitwan sir. And to say in its entirety,
And
Gurukul
two
Education.
immensely sensation, powerful powerhouses of Prepper. Anup and Chitwan, I have the best time when I talk to them. Yes, please go on.
So, yeah, they were the ones who, provided guidance of what I can do in finance. And it wasn't just restricted to a single course and how I can amplify my knowledge. So that's why my journey started. I took up ACCA, that is a UK-based qualification, another finance. It's a profession. It's not a degree course as we see. Okay. It's a profession, something parallel to chartered accountancy that we see in India. So I qualified for that, but I didn't know of it before I came to Gurukul. So it's a very big thing for me. So I can say coming to Gurukul was somehow career defining for me. Now, my profession took an amazing turn, something that I didn't know of. And yeah, that's where it all started. And they were the ones to push me into teaching, right? So they saw that flair that I enjoy explaining it to someone else. That was their explanation to me. I asked them, why do you see a teacher in me? And they told me, you like explaining. You just like explaining in general. And that would make you a good faculty. So yeah, I have enjoyed some success as a teacher. And
so Harsh, as you mentioned this thing about Anup and Chitwan, where they said they saw something in me. So I'm not very sure if you know or not, because you're fairly new Toastmaster. There is in 2014 the world champion at public speaking. His name is Dhananjay Hetrachi.
Okay.
His famous speech, and you can Google, is, I see something in you, but I do not know what it is. Here, there were two people who saw something in you and they actually mentored you and helped you groom into who you are today, which is absolutely brilliant. So coming to Gurukul, working with Prepper Gurukul, and then why and how did Toastmasters come into the picture?
Okay, to put it into context, I see teaching as a public speaking, right?
It is. I'm myself into education, so I can clearly, I resonate with this. It is.
Yes. But the other side of it is people make kind of, a cliche out of it that Toastmasters is about public speaking. I beg to differ. Toastmaster is also about leadership.
Yes.
Toastmaster is also about being a mentor. So, like, if I have to speak of Toastmaster Yash, I'm sorry, I'm again quoting someone in my speech, but Yash has been my student while he was studying finance. And then when I came to Toastmaster, he is my mentor. So Again, a unique, there's a unique connectivity, right? The guy was once my student is now telling me, sir, your speech needs to be a little structured, just like your balance sheets are. So it's amazing in that way. And what even if I have to say about public speaking, it's a structured pathway, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah, I always thought I always took myself as a granted, public speaker. Of course, I'm a good public speaker. I teach. There are 50 students, 100 students listening to me, and if they are able to clear the exam, I must be damn good. I was wrong. There are so many technicalities that I miss out on. I teach because I'm very good with the technical content, not because I'm a good speaker. And that's what Yash brings, that perspective that, sir, you're missing a conclusion, for example. Yeah, that's how I'm in.
Absolutely. That's the same thing with me. Like I've just said a little while ago, I too come from education. Now, standing in front of a classroom, we don't have stage fear. But then we assume that we are really good with public speaking, but that's not so. And in every class, when you want to make an impact, it's the students who are actually the yardstick through which we measure our success. So I totally resonate that Toastmasters helps you bring structure to your content. The content is already there, of course. So you joined Toastmasters, I believe, in July, is it?
Just this year, July.
So it's
half year.
been, yes, half year now. What have you felt have been the changes in you? And when I say in you, it's not only confined to Prepper Gurukul. I would say also in your life, because we all have a personal life as well. We have a Toastmasters life, and I say we have a professional life. So I'm more interested in knowing, outside Prepper Gurukul, outside Toastmasters, do you think there has been a change in you as a person?
Yep, a huge change. Outside Toastmasters and Prepper Guruful, I'm also a finance consultant. So it can be SME, small and medium kind of enterprise that need financial consulting on one or varied problem, whatever it is. Startups, sometimes just individuals looking into investments or something.
So there is a lot of consultation in your work and on a daily basis.
Yep. And while you are preparing for your projects in Toastmasters, there are a lot of assessments.
Right.
One of those assessment was what kind of a leader you are. I never knew. What kind of a communicator you are was very pivotal to me, because as it happens, I'm kind of a coach who might sometimes miss out on listening. And listening is a huge part of communication.
Huge, yes.
People confuse communication with speaking. People would say, I want to become a public speaker, but then you have to become a public listener.
Absolutely.
And that opened a very different perspective. And I just introduced that element of listening in my speech.
While you are dealing with your client.
Dealing with my clients. And that opened a possibility, because now I'm listening. And I explore opportunities. I hear what they say, analyze, interpret, and then start speaking. And they feel that they are being listened.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing.
That's the big.
So they like to stick to me. Some of them are pesky, but yeah, it's good business.
And actually, I think these are projects in Toastmasters. And I think in all our evaluations, we always talk about active listening, which is giving your undivided attention to the person with whom you're talking. While be it in a classroom structure, be it with your clients as well. Wonderful. So you've noticed a change in yourself over these past 6 months. Of course. Wonderful. And Harsh, now I'm told that you're going to be leaving for pursuing higher education. So we, of course, as a club, Gurukul Toastmasters Club wishes you the best. We will miss you in our meetings, but we couldn't be more happier for you, trust me. And I speak on behalf of the whole club. But my question still is, why Netherlands? So tell us a little bit about Rotterdam Public
School of
Management. Yes.
So Rotterdam School of Management stands out as one of the finest business schools in Europe, in all of Europe, not just Netherlands. And they specialize in it's need of the hour, sustainability. So if you go through what Netherlands is doing when it comes to sustainability, they've been industry leaders in green energy, in neutralizing carbon emission. And all of these have a finance perspective as well, because companies would like to follow something that is environmentally sustainable. So that's what Netherlands specializes in, and that's what Rotterdam School of Management specializes in. And that's why I do see myself into green finance. It's called green finance.
That's the future, but actually,
Of course, yeah.
not always the future, it's actually
That's-
present. Yes.
Just like AI, people keep saying AI is future, but yeah, it's the present. Same goes with sustainability.
Okay.
So, yep.
So that's the reason why.
That's the reason. Yes.
So I will also want to go to the next question that I'm sure there must have been a series of documents that you have to submit, interviews that you have to face, and then you get selected through a panel of recruiters or discussions.
Okay.
Did Toastmasters and your public speaking skills play a role in you getting selected at Rotterdam?
All right. So the first point being a very general point that because I was exposed to a lot of meetings in Toastmasters, being able to communicate clearly and knowing all those technicalities, you become good at interviews.
And you're so
because
confident as well.
You're confident. Just shoot a question and I know how to structure it and tell it.
In fact, there are projects when you sort of simulate an interview as
Simulate it. Perfect. So yeah, that's a very general point, but something which relates to my story.
yes.
My interviewer, he is admissions manager with RSN. My interviewer was vice president of membership of Rotterdam Toastmasters
As it's
Club.
a very small world there.
Yep. So that very thing, that very Toastmaster and both of us being Toastmasters, that helped us.
It helps build a bond immediately. Did that happen with you too?
It was like we belonged to the same fraternity. Yeah, we shared something in common, and that was our icebreaker, right?
Yeah.
And just started our what's Toastmaster? He asked casually, and then all right.
So I think once you see on a resume that someone says, I'm a Toastmaster, it lets you know that this person is working on their communication skills, on their leadership abilities. They are focused towards their growth besides their other qualifications as well. So what I understand is that Toastmasters does play a big role in us getting selected at B schools in your case, of course, but even in job placements as well. So just to wrap up towards the end, there is a lot of viewers who are going to be watching this and will take inspiration. Your students as well, yeah, of course. What would you want to share with them, Harsh? Because I think as educators, our students do look up to us. So we would love to hear what you would want to share with your students.
Yeah. So honestly, there might be a public speaker in you, but there's always a scope of improvement. Firstly. And yeah, there has to be a structured way for that. You cannot just put yourself on a stage and just start delivering your speech. There has to be a structured way. And that's exactly what Toastmasters is. Another big thing that I'd like to mention about Toastmaster is that it has got impeccable recognition. It's recognized globally. And even my previous company, it was based in Middle East. They had their own Toastmasters club. So yeah, as soon as you mention something like that on your profile, it can be LinkedIn, it can be your CV that you might be a position holder or you might not be. You're just a member of Toastmasters club. Everyone immediately recognizes you that he is going to be a good communicator, and that soft skill of having good communication is underrated and people really value it. So it helps you professionally. It helps you, of course, it helps you personally because you keep growing. And yeah, the recognition, the credential it brings, of course, helps.
So you mentioned you were there in the Middle East. So you mind if I ask you which company or which club, which was that? Where was that?
Yeah, so it was KPMG. I was working with KPMG.
So there's a Toastmasters
audit manager, and they have the room.
But you were not a member then.
I wasn't a member there. It started just, and I left after a month after it started.
And then you were back in India.
I was back in India, and then
Great. So it has been wonderful, Harsh, knowing you and getting to know you, although it's very briefly and fleetingly. But I am very sure you are going to be, you'll not only enjoy your experience at Rotterdam, but I think you're going to more grow as an individual. And we, the family of Gurukul, will always be there. We would love to meet you virtually over the meetings. And we wish you the very best. It's been a pleasure to have you. All the very best for your future.
thank you so much for having me. Have a good rest. Thank you.
Thank you.